Yet another variation on the switching bodies theme, Freaky Friday, like father like son, etc. This one was different though, and it involved a transgender switch. Transgender switch? I should watch this movie.
2 hours later.
Oh my god, what the did I just watch? Hello all you beautiful people, I'm Mizzz Sally Pryde, that's with 3 Z's and a Y, because why not? In this video, we're going to be talking about the hot chick. I want to talk more about gender, and this film talks about gender a lot. I knew from the title that was going to be interesting, but holy sh**, I did not anticipate how weird this got. Although surprisingly, this film was not as transphobic as I was expecting it to be, but still there. And I need to get this out of the way first. There's a big storyline here about child, however, it goes completely ignored. Like, child is a thing that just persists throughout this film, but like, it's not really acknowledged, and it's really disturbing and gross. So the film starts off with this like explanation of like an ancient curse or something like that. At this school, there is school-sanctioned bullying of this fat girl. It only gets more disturbing from here on. The teenage girls in this film, they do have this sort of chant, and it's about men, and it is not very flattering.
Boys are cheats and liars. They're such a big disgrace. They will tell you anything to get to second baseball. Baseball, he thinks he's gonna score. If you let him go all the way, then you are
kind of true based on my own experience. And apparently there's like this witch in their class.
Returning your papers on the sale of witch trials. I'm sad to report that Ethan here got the only A.
Well, that's not fair. I mean, she was the only one who was actually there.
I don't know. It's a thing. Apparently, there's this scene where the janitor sort of hits on these underage teenage girls. That is not okay. You're a f***ing adult, and you should not be interacting that way with teenagers. Seriously, there are some men out there who think it's okay to hit on high schoolers. No, it's not. This is creepy. And there's this whole bit about, like, if they drink a milkshake in a seductive way, they get it for free, which, that's never happened. They make a whole lot of binge eating jokes, which, as someone who has a binge eating disorder, is really f***ing uncomfortable. They make anorexia jokes and stuff like that. My god. I swear, I think comedies in the early 2000s just took a nosedive in terms of quality, with a few handful of exceptions, which you'll be seeing soon in a later video. They do this whole shoplifting prank and it gets someone tackled. This is ahead of its time, especially with those dumb TikTok videos where people do these sort of pranks. I swear, there is nothing worse, internet content-wise, than pranksters. God, I can't stand pranksters. Other than maybe transphobes. Jeez, it's Adam Sandler. Jeez. Are you enjoying this video? Well, I really hope so. But, due to the fact that I'm currently under 1,000 subscribers here on YouTube, that raises a few obstacles. I'm not eligible to make ag money here on YouTube. To get all my financial means taken care of for these videos, I have a Patreon. You can support me on there for as low as $3 a month and get uncensored cuts of these videos. And unlike the hot chick, you can actually watch something funny. Like, for example, my comedy special, Pride and Joy, a trans story where I talk all about my journey being trans. It's really insightful and I put a lot of work into it. So head on over to patreon.com/SallyPrydeDrag to support me. Plans start as low as $3 a month. But hey, if you can't support me on Patreon, at least like and subscribe. That really boosts this channel along and gets me even closer to getting ag money here on YouTube. So thank you so much. And a special thank you to my patrons, of course. I can't do this without you. Now let's get back to the video. So, Adam Sandler. What can I say about Adam Sandler that hasn't already been said? Well, in this film, Adam Sandler kind of has a recurring bit where he's playing this, like, hyper Jamaican stereotype, and he does that, like, terrible SNL bit about putting your weed and stuff.
Oh, and you can put your weed in there. You don't realize this, but you can put your weed in there.
And it was at this point in the film, I think it was less than 10 minutes in, where I realized there's so much racist in here that if I wrote everything down, my God, would this take a while. So they go to this store and they find this earring and they're told it's not for sale because it has cultural significance, which makes a lot of sense to me. So they decide to shoplift it, but lose one of them in a gas station, which was being robbed at that time by Rob Schneider, coincidentally. He gets caught and he tries to help them with gas and ends up picking up this earring. And these people are just cruel. They're literally assaulting him. I don't care that he was robbing a gas station. They're cruel. They don't even know he robbed the gas station. They're still being cruel to him. I felt bad for the guy robbing the gas station. After just a few moments ago, he was doing like this. The main character, Jennifer, who's the body switch done, she has a brother, and her brother is gender queer at the very least. Could potentially be trans, but we don't know. And one of the things I like about this film is how supportive his parents are. That by the end of the film, they're talking about encouraging him in heels and it takes practice and stuff like that.
Come on, buddy. You gotta learn to run in those heels if you're gonna wear them.
This is what every parent should do. They have a queer kid and they're accepting him for who he is. And I'm using he, him pronouns because the film doesn't establish anything else. I don't know if this means being trans or just gender queer. He's struggling to express his queerness and he's getting the family support he needs. And I absolutely love that they show that in this film. This is what every family should be like. Unconditional love. It doesn't matter if your kid's queer or not. You show them unconditional love. Rob Schneider and Jennifer take the earrings and they each put one in, and just by sheer coincidence, and then they switch bodies. However, unlike other body swap movies, what this film does differently is their bodies actually switch location as well. So, when Jennifer wakes up, she's still in her bed, but she's in Rob Schneider's body. And vice versa. When Rob Schneider wakes up, he's in Jennifer's body, but in his apartment. In Rob Schneider's body, steals some of her father's clothes, and there are a whole bunch of shenanigans and all that sort of expected with films like this. Shenanigans and body swap sort of situations aren't new. I mean, one other similar movie that comes to mind is Big, and how they had a similar sort of dynamic with some of this, without the gender swaps. In Big, a child becomes Tom Hanks, and that causes shenanigans and all that because, well, adult-sized Tom Hanks waking up in a kid's bed and all that sort of panic. So Jennifer goes to see her friend at school and, well, it doesn't go so well. She gets pepper sprayed and thrown down a flight of bleachers, and somehow she's okay. Because, the movie needs to happen. And they explain using their chant that this is in fact who I am, and her friend is accepting and they try to figure stuff out. This film is actually a good exploration of gender dysphoria. They do stuff like body hair, penis dysphoria, stuff like that. They show off what dysphoria is. One thing I really think is important to note here is that Jennifer continues to wear her clothing, even in Rob Schneider's form, because, well, she's still a woman. Even though she has a penis, and even though she looks like a man now, she is in fact a woman. And you can tell this was written by men because they have no knowledge that women actually get facial hair and body hair, which I don't know how that's possible in society, but somehow is. How does nearly half the population not know that the almost other half, yes, I know non-binary people exist, how do they not know that body hair is a thing that exists on all people? Sure, it's different degrees, but people surprise me that they don't know that body hair and facial hair aren't something that exists within both sexes. And apparently, they make lots of jokes about the penis and stuff like that, that it's a small one and stuff like that, which who the cares? I still find it kind of creepy that they're taking advantage of this guy. They're not knowing what's going on. It's really confusing and all that. But it's still a matter of you're examining some random stranger's penis and showing it off to all your friends. I find it kind of weird and disturbing, especially since they're teenagers. They're f***ing teenagers. Even though they're played by adults, they're f***ing teenagers. This film portrays this as just a normal, everyday thing that happens. And I'm thinking to myself, what the f***? And they actually make a priest joke, which, Sinead O'Connor, rest in peace. You were right all along. And apparently, Jennifer is super strong in this new body, because whenever she swings the pillow, they start flying all around. I know it's a joke, but, like, I can't stand this exaggeration of male aesthetics. This is why people believe trans women have an advantage in sports, which we're not even men. But still, like, I mean, you can't hit someone with a pillow and they'll go flying across the room. It doesn't matter how strong you are, that's not gonna happen. Okay, and then Jennifer tries to pose as a Mexican gardener. Take a wild guess as to what she calls herself. That's right, Taquito. She calls herself Taquito. I swear to God, this film. And then there's this whole subplot about, like, her father having this, like, sexual affair with Taquito, which is just like, okay. And then it turns into the mother wants an affair, and then Taquito is, like, gay and stuff like that. Like, I don't know. This just leads to a whole bunch of, like, homophobic jokes in there. And, like, even jokes about, like, how she doesn't know how to use a urinal and stuff like that. And that leads to a whole bunch of homophobic jokes and stuff like that. My God, this film is repugnant. Being said, there are a few gems within this film. Like, for example, that fat character who was bullied at the start of the film, she's able to help them. Same with the witch character. They've been helpful throughout this journey in trying to get Jennifer back in her body. And one of the things she says is,
It's physically impossible for a woman to transform into a man overnight.
for all the trans men out there, I'm not trying to call you a woman, but that is sort of a trans-ish statement right there. That, like, for all the trans people listening, remember that. You will not be able to get your physical body type overnight. You are the gender you say you are, but your body does not happen overnight. There are things you can do to make you feel more comfortable in your body, but it takes time. It's not an overnight thing. And I know that can be frustrating. It has been for me. Trust me, the process, it's well worth the wait. So, hang in there. And then there's this line.
I have no idea what it's like to wake up every morning and have to shave your chin.
Yes, I do.
I do too. And then they do this, like, makeover sequence, which, one of the things I don't get is, like, if you want Jennifer to feel comfortable, do a female makeover. Don't do a male makeover. Because she wants to feel like she's in her own body again. Make her feel comfortable in her body. Do, like, breast forms, hip pads, stuff like that. There's so much you can do to feel more comfortable in your body. This film makes no sense. Then they go to this bar and it's like the bartender's asking for an ID, and it's like, how the hell did you get into the bar anyway without an ID? Like, isn't that standard for bars, especially in, like, California? And they're doing these weird dances and they're ripping clothes off strangers, but somehow that doesn't get them kicked out of the bar. And there's just some terrible, terrible advice in this film. Like the idea that if a woman is ignoring you, that's what she wants the most. This movie was written by a man. That is terrible advice. If a woman says no, or matter of fact, anyone says no, that means no. That does not mean you need to try harder. That means stop. And it blows my mind how many days go by in this film and no one notices that their daughter's gone. Her parents don't know that their daughter's gone. Their teenage daughter haven't seen her in days, but are not worried. What the Then they do this, like, false coming out scene with, like, Taquito and, like, trying to, like, imply that Taquito is gay, but, like, not actually Mexican. It's like, come on. Movie. I swear, this film is disgusting. Like, they do this whole prom story where they ask each other out the prom, and it's just like, that's an adult male body that you got going on there. You can't have that wandering around prom, especially for someone who's believed to be the school janitor at the moment, because apparently they gave him the job without doing a full-fledged background check, because, well, that's pretty f***ed up. Why would we do a background check on someone who's working around kids? And seriously, the janitor doing this on a date and, like, kissing students, like, give him the job without finishing the background check. Wait for it to be complete. Because, you know, working with children, you want to make sure they're safe people. How the hell is this supposed to be read as, like, romantic or, like, sweet or something like that? It's just like, this is really f***ing gross. And they make all these jokes about, like, how gay is this situation? She's female. When she's interacting with a woman, she's doing something gay. And when she's doing something with a guy, that's straight. And that's bi behavior right there, if that's what's going on. Or pan behavior. Just, for f***'s sake, this movie. And they find the guy because apparently they find someone in her body who's been beating people up. And by the way, once this body swap's over, there's still a reward for your arrest. You're gonna get arrested either way. Do the body swap and everything. And, like, turns out that Rob Schnider guy was, like, being a stripper and everything in this body, making a ton of money. Which, if only that's how life worked. Because apparently by the laws of this film, a teenager can be a stripper. And that's perfectly legal and socially acceptable. Like, what the f***? Although, near the end here, there are some funny jokes. For example, there's a joke about the signs, which, fine, like, are pretty funny and unexpected. Whatever.
Only gonna tell you this once. No strangling the dancers, or you are out of here. Can't you read?
And the club owner decides not to press charges for the shenanigans they were up to in there. Is this a happy ending? No. In the end, Rob Schnider gets because you know, this what this movie didn't have enough of. Jokes. Because it's okay when men are rape is never a joke. Regardless of who the gender is, rape is not a fucking joke. And I really hate when movies do this. Rape is not a fucking joke. Even if you put aside, like, the issues of, like, sexism, racism, transphobia, homophobia, and general just gross out humor of this film, it's still a repugnant film. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing. I also made another video where I talked about the time drag queens made a sci-fi film. So if that sounds interesting to you, give that video a watch. Thank you. Goodbye.